Hi, welcome to my 8-week project. I am doing the Creative Conscience Brief because it is something very close to my heart. As I suffered as a young teenage girl, and as my cousin, who is also 13, is now really suffering with her mental health. So my research question is, how can design inform and raise awareness in young girls whilst also reducing the stigma surrounding it? So one quote is, existing evidence suggests that stigma is well documented among adolescents, but that little consensus exists regarding how to implement successful adolescent-focused mental illness stigma reduction programs. So, I think this is something that needs to be touched upon, and there is a lot of room for, new ideas, new growth, because as a young girl, I was very much isolated and avoided talking about how I felt, and I suffered. And as a result of, me not being able to speak out and not feeling that anyone understood, I have suffered with it in my adult years. And, if this problem can be addressed early on, and for young girls to feel like they can speak out and not be judged, this is so important. Another quote, young girls are suffering more than ever with their mental health. Globally, depression is one of the leading causes of illness and disability among adolescents. So it's just a really important topic. And I think if it is addressed in the earlier years of adolescence, then they can be more healthy as they evolve in their teens. So objectives and aims. I will focus on mental health, anxiety and depression in teenage girls from the ages of 13 to 15 years old. My objective is to speak their language, to raise awareness, eliminate the stigma around feeling mentally unwell, and produce something that will encourage and help young girls to talk about their problems, as well as finding useful strategies to guide them towards a healthier mind. So I've been watching a lot of videos on YouTube about young people and actually hearing their own voices. And so one video I watched was very inspiring, and it was young people saying how every day is a struggle, everyday tasks are hard, feeling completely alone, life is hard. And, it is an epidemic of mental health issues in younger people today. And I think that is mainly around social media and outside circumstances, the environment children are living in. And I know from my younger cousin that, social media has really affected her. And I would like to redress the stigma going on around mental health, because I think young kids are just seeing highlight reels of how people are doing, how beautiful kids are looking. It's so much pressure, and I would like to address this. My research is I will be reading and watching as many videos as I can to gain more knowledge on the topic of mental health in youths and how they are affected. I have been researching campaigns that have already been achieved and how I can make a change with my own creative output. I will also do field work into how younger teens feel and hear their own voices and what it's like to be young and going through the huge change of not being a kid anymore, but not being an adult either. Their voices are very important in my project. So I think that's something that should be touched upon, is how kids feel that they're not treated seriously by adults. And, they looked at adults as role models, but they're not validated in how they're feeling. Often adults will say to them, just cheer up. It's going to be all right. You're young. You just have to think about school, and then their anxieties aren't taken seriously. And, they are the future. And we need to take these anxieties seriously, especially what's going on around the world. And, their mobile phones that are on them constantly, they need to be taken seriously. So I would really like to talk their own language, how they're really feeling, how they don't like how adults are talking to them and they feel alone. So most important issues to address would be validation of how they're feeling and how others see them. So validating their experiences and how they're feeling. Judgment, so other people don't judge them on their emotions. Observation, how they can observe how they're feeling and understand it better, and how other people can observe them. And if they need help, can get the necessary help. Avoidance, so that they don't avoid all the things that are going wrong with them. Stigma, so that people actually are there for them and not stigmatizing their mental illness and avoiding talking to them. Early intervention is so important. If there's really a problem, this needs to be addressed early. Awareness of what the child is feeling, and of what other people feel about how they're feeling. Education, so these people need to be educated on mental illness. The people that aren't maybe knowing what mental illness is about, they can be educated on it. Listening, so listening to each other. Taboo, so very much with stigma, taboo of mental health. You can be weak if you have a mental illness, which is not true. And speaking out, being able to talk about how you feel without feeling judged. Aspiration for final outcome, to create something that will decrease stigma around mental health in young teenage girls and encourage them to find their voices and talk about what's going on for them. I want my project to become of value to a young girl who may be suffering from her thoughts and emotions, and to raise awareness in a way that will reach this unique generation. By the end of the project, I want to create change and make something that appeals to young girls. I will look into music genres and trends surrounding young adolescents. So the idea of using trends today, colors, typography that will really, and language that will, focus on young girls and what they like. And maybe if I'm able to make it fashionable in a way, they will look to it more and feel more drawn to it. So these are the kind of ideas going on in my head, especially color. What kind of colors are going on? Is it neon? What kind of colors will they be drawn to? Will they read? What would make them feel good? Ideas. So I have quite a few ideas. So I was thinking of a school pack, a poster with information on the back, a tote bag, and a small publication which will connect them to a wider community. So, if it is a bag that they would like to wear, maybe they could wear it around school with their things in. That will, have a message on it. So if one girl is wearing it, maybe a popular girl, maybe another girl will see it and think, okay, they're wearing this, maybe I could wear it too. And it would kind of start a community, maybe even having a hashtag. A video of written typography in the words of a 13 to 15-year-old girl who was struggling. So I thought about, again, speaking their own language, creating a movie about this, a movie depicting, at the bottom, I also put a movie depicting an adult talking to their 13-year-old self and what they should and shouldn't expect and what they would have done differently. So this, again, is a movie. I was thinking, looking from now, me being older and talking to my 13-year-old self and how I would have changed things, and just raising awareness and showing kids that there's a lot, that what they're feeling now can be addressed. They're not alone. Everything seems so doom and gloom, but they're not alone. And then my third idea was a poster series to be collected and distributed around where young people can see them. So again, raising awareness. So this is these are my ideas for now, and thank you for listening.